Today I want to introduce you to ntopng. ntopng is an application for Windows, Mac, Linux and other Unix operating systems that allows you to monitor your network. It is a passive monitoring application that collects traffic out of one of your network interfaces and represents it on a web interface. You log in to ntopng through a web browser. As you can see here, you can go to your PC where ntopng is running on port 3000, the default, and log in as user admin and password admin. Of course, you can change all your preferences here by going to the preferences menu on your right. Here you can manage your users, you can set the password, and you can delete the users. Everything is configured through the web interface. The main page is so-called dashboard that gives you an idea of what is happening on your network. This dashboard represents what we have called the top flow talkers. What is a flow? A flow is a connection between two hosts over a port that can be a TCP or a UDP port, where these two hosts are communicating some data through an application protocol such as HTTP. The map is dynamic as everything else in ntopng, and as you can see, it is updated automatically every few seconds here as you choose on the menu. How to read this map? As you can see here, we have a vertical bar that is for host 192.168.1.208. This host is speaking with other hosts, and the link between the hosts has a color. In this case, this color means that the host 224.0.0.22 is receiving most of the traffic from this host 192.168.1.208. The green color means the same but for a different host. As you can see, this diagram called Sankey allows you to represent in a very easy way the relationships between the hosts. In this case, this host has not been an important host because the bar is smaller than this bar. So basically, with a short overview of the top talkers, you will see what are the main activities on your machine. Of course, you can start and stop this graph so that you can see what is going on in real time. At the bottom of your screen, you see something similar on this graph, but for the network interface. You will see the traffic on your network interface. Clicking on it, you will see an overview of your interface. You can start or put in pause the traffic on an interface by clicking on these two buttons. You can set up a custom name for the interface, and here you can read what is the way you are reading packets from the interface. ntopng uses several libraries for doing that. The most popular is libpcap, but on Linux there is another toolkit that ntop has developed named pfring that allows you to capture packet in a more efficient way. The counters here and the number of packet and dropped packet are all dynamic, so it means that whenever there is a new packet received, the counter is incremented, and an arrow here indicates the activity. If you click on the packets menu, you will see the packet breakdown in terms of size distribution. In a network, it is important to understand the size of the packet to understand if the network is in good state or if it is not properly used. ntopng has support for a deep packet inspection library called NDPI that ntop was also developed. And as you can see here, you can see a traffic breakdown per interface in terms of application. Here we have depicted the main protocol, where for a protocol we don't necessarily mean a network protocol such as HTTP or FTP. but also a service provided on top of the protocols. Here you will see, for instance, traffic towards Yahoo, traffic towards the Google applications, or Twitter traffic. And here you will see, going down, the breakdown per protocol. As you can see, most of the traffic here at the moment is HTTP, and if you click on the link, you can see what is happening in terms of the protocol. So this means that you can zoom, you can go 10 minutes view, 1 hour view, 12 hours view, something like that, and whenever you move here, you will see what are the top talkers in terms of traffic sent, in terms of traffic received, when this traffic peak was noticed. You have time series for all the protocols that have been detected on the interface. So as soon as there is a new protocol, you will see a new graph here, a new slice of this pie chart. This was the dashboard. Now the main concept in ntopng is the flow. We have already said that the flow is a communication between two hosts over a certain port, and as you can see here, you will have multiple flows, and that are basically divided into client to server communication, where a client is the first host that is sending traffic, and the server is the host that receives the traffic. Clicking on info, you will see a breakdown of the flow. You will see here in real time the activity, if any. This one is a Dropbox activity, because the Dropbox as a protocol has been detected by ntopng through our DPI library. And this one is a communication between the host where I'm currently running and the broadcast host. So basically my PC is sending and advertising the presence of Dropbox on the machine. It says when the first packet has been noticed, and it also reports when the last packet has been seen for this particular flow. And here you will see the graph of the throughput, that in this case is pretty flat. Consider that there is little traffic on this flow. All the columns can be sorted. You simply click on it, as you are doing on most of your application, and also you can sort the flow per duration. All the elements here are dynamic, so every 5 seconds they are refreshed, so you can see activities of what is happening, what are the top hosts in terms of throughput, for instance. Of course, you can enlarge the table, you can add new elements, and you can have a better idea of what is happening based on your network. Because ntop is dynamic, so whenever you refresh a web page, or whenever you do some activities, ntop reports this immediately. As you can see, the number of flows are grown here significantly. In the protocol breakdown, you will see whether most of the traffic has been done by the server or by the client. Typically, this is HTTP and Google, most of the traffic is coming from the server, so therefore it means that the servers is prevalent on this activity. As you can see, we map the user server and the application it provides with a user level application, in this case Google+. This is for the flows. For host, basically we represent the traffic of flows divided per host. You can do this in two ways. Either you can click on the link of the host inside the flow, or you can go into the host menu and select host list. In the host list, you will see a list of all the hosts that are known by ntopng. Like I've said before, ntopng starts as an empty application, and by the time it learns new hosts as the traffic for those hosts arrive. Through some means such as the coding of HTTP headers, it is possible to learn the operating system of the server where ntopng is reading traffic from. In this case, this is a Mac from which I am creating this video. Clicking on it, you will see an overview of the host. As you can see, there are several tabs here. The first tab, so-called Home, displays the basic information about the host, the MAC address, the IP address, the operating system, if known, the name, and some labels. The local label means that this host is local to the network. ntopng learns this by reading at the network address configured on each network interface. Private IP means that this host has also a private IP address, so you cannot expect to see this address on the internet. System host means that this host has an IP address that corresponds to one of the network interfaces of this host. So it means that this is the host where the traffic is coming from. If you want, you can use the DNS to resolve the address, or you can put a custom name if you prefer to use another name for this host. Each host has the possibility of creating alerts. We'll come to this later. And it displays when the first packet has been seen and when we have noticed the last packet for this host. This is the traffic breakdown in terms of prevalence. And as you can see here, it's possible to see the activity of the host based on the time. So this traffic map shows you when a certain host has made traffic or not, and how much traffic has made, so that you have an overview over time of the activity of the host. In ntopng, everything is JSON, so if you want, you can click here. It will have a representation of the host you can export somewhere, or you can use ntopng as a server for your monitoring application. Inside the tab traffic, you can see the overview of layer 4 protocol. So as you can see here, this host is mostly doing TCP, 95%, UDP, and some other protocol. Packet is something similar, but in terms of packet size. So we have seen that it is possible to see a packet breakdown per interface. Here you can see packet breakdown per host in terms of packet sent and packet received. In the ports, you will see what are the ports being used by this host in terms of client port or server port. Okay, this is a dynamic graph. As you can see, everything in ntopng is dynamic, and therefore it updates over time. In the peers view, you will see the peers that are speaking with my host. So my host is can speak with the broadcast address, with the home gate, the multicast, and so on. And you will see here the protocol being used. Now, if you want to zoom on a specific host, you just have to click on it, and you will see immediately what is the protocol being exchanged with this host, and you will see immediately here what is the amount of traffic for this protocol. You can click at any time on this link so that it can restrict you to the flows active between my host, the broadcast address, on the specific protocol you have selected here. If you click again on the same host, you basically enable the graph for all the hosts. You can do the same here. So if you want to see what host is doing Apple iCloud, so you will see that my host is doing Apple iCloud with this host, and this is the name of the host. You can click on the host to have an overview of the host itself. Going back to the previous view, you can click on the protocols, and the protocol is basically a representation of the application protocol for the specific host that we are currently analyzing. In case there are other protocols such as DNS that are decoded more in detail, ntopng allows you to see the breakdown. So in this case, you have seen that this host has sent over 600 queries and received 590 positive replies and some errors. So this balance is still positive. And you see most of the queries are of the type A. That means that my host is trying to resolve a symbolic IP to a numeric IP. Clicking on flows, you will see the flows only related to this host, and not all the flows like we have seen previously on the flow menu. The talker shows you the same graphs you have seen on the dashboard, but focusing on my specific host. So just to have a better idea of what my host is doing. In current contacts, you will see the host that's speaking with my host. The host we are currently looking at is in the center, and here you will see basically the number of contacts you have done with certain host. Everything in ntopng is clickable. So if you go here, you click, you will see the host. In case here you have no hyperlink, it means that this host has made some activity, but it has now been removed from memory from ntopng. This happens when the host is not doing any activity for a while. Here, the second menu is top host. In ntopng, there is a difference between local and remote host. Remote hosts are those hosts that do not belong to the network that have been reported by local by ntopng, or are those hosts that are not doing local traffic because you have not specified them with the -m command line menu. As you can see over time here, there are bars that are appearing that are shifting from right to left. And if there is traffic, the bar is green. If there is no traffic, there is no bar. If I now start making some traffic here, you will see that my host is having more bars. Let's start watching a video. You will see that the bar is more and more green depending on the traffic itself. Hosts that are doing little traffic have bar from time to time, and this is to indicate again the activity, so just to understand whether the traffic here that you see in real time is really in real time or not. You might wonder, what is this? This one, if you click on it, is a ghost that displays the current speed of the interface. Suppose that we now have something like, I don't know, 10 megabit, and you can set a custom name to the interface. You can save it if you want. And now let's go back to Flow's interface. Now let's start to watch a movie that shows some traffic activities in real time. So you see the bar is moving up and down depending on the traffic, and as you can see here also the traffic is changing according to the traffic itself. Okay, this is YouTube traffic, so after some buffering the computer displays traffic and can show the movie, and as you can see the traffic is not static. If you want, you can click on throughput just to see what is the top flow that is generating traffic. This is one. It's YouTube video, and here you can see the traffic itself, how it changes over time. Unfortunately, this movie was pretty short, so therefore most of the traffic has already been received by the host. So this is also good because it allows you to understand how the traffic changes over time, and how the traffic affects your server depending on the traffic itself. As you can see here, this is a TCP connection, and here ntopng reports the flags, and because the termination flags have not been reported yet, so this flow is still active, and ntopng reports this activity. Let's now stop this video. Interaction is basically a big set of hosts that one speaking with each other. These are hyperlinks, and each of these hosts are hosts where you can click on. You see top host traffic, that it's another type of report that allows you to see for your top host how the traffic is changing over time. So going on each of these cells, you can see the traffic being exchanged between your hosts, and when there is no traffic here, it means that there is no traffic that has been exchanged between these hosts. There is geomap that allows you to put on a map the traffic activities, and the map is centered on your current location. because I now have a PC behind a firewall and I use a local and private IP address, you will not see a graph. But if you are on a remote host where you have public IP addresses, you will see that on the map it is placed the hosts that are making traffic, and you will see lines between those hosts. The tree map is another way to represent traffic, is another way to have a quick overview of who is doing most of the traffic. And as you can see here, most of the traffic is done by my host towards Google Video, okay, like we have seen before when we watch the movie. The local matrix instead is a table that contains every single host that has done traffic. And as you can see here, you will see that there are two labels. One is blue, the other one is yellow, that displays the amount of traffic that has been sent and received by a given host. Here you will have a menu with all the interfaces. If you start ntopng without an interface name, so if you have omitted -i, ntopng reads traffic from all interfaces. You can switch between interfaces in real time. Now, if I click here, I will see traffic from my loopback interface, but unfortunately there is no traffic at the moment, so there are no active flows found. So let's now go back to the previous interface. Of course, everything is HTML. You can go back and forth. You can click on a host. You can click on a port just to see an overview of the ports. And ntopng allows you to understand what is happening on your network, on your PC, very easily. Thank you for watching this video, and see you later.